Good morning, students. Students, as you know, in our previous lecture, we started with a new chapter that was electrochemistry. And in the electrochemistry, I told you that electrochemistry deals with the interaction of the electrical energy with the chemical energy. Student, if you remember, that was the part A of this lecture. In that, we started our discussion with the process of electrolysis. And we completed the electrolysis of a molten sodium chloride. Now, there can be some concept related to the electrolysis, and that is the product of electrolysis depends on the preferential discharge of ions and the concentration of ions and the nature of electrode. So, always remember the product of electrolysis, the product of electrolysis, the product of electrolysis depends on number one is the preferential discharge of ions. Preferential discharge of ions. It depends on the preferential discharge of ions. Then it depends on the nature of electrodes. It also depends on the nature of electrodes. It depends on the preferential discharge of ions and the nature of electrodes. Now, what is preferential discharge of ions? One example we discussed in the previous lecture, that was electrolysis of a molten sodium chloride, in which the sodium ion was obtained at the cathode and the chloride ion was obtained at the anode. Today, we will learn how the preferential discharge of ions and the nature of electrode will affect the product of electrolysis. Now, first is the preferential discharge of ions. Preferential discharge of ions. Preferential discharge of ions. What is this? If there is a competition, between two or more electrodes, between two or more ions, to get deposited on the electrode, to get deposited on electrode, then the ion which get deposited will be the one which requires least energy for their deposition. Then the ion which requires least energy for deposition, least energy for deposition, is obtained on electrodes, on respective electrode. What does it mean? It means when we carry out the process of electrolysis, then in the process either the cations are produced or anions are produced. Suppose if there are more than one cation which can be deposited at the electrode, in that case, there will be a competition between the two cations to get deposited on the electrode. So there we will be using a preferential discharge ion theory. As per this discharge series for the cations and anions, the one which will be requiring the lesser energy for the deposition will get more easily deposited as compared to other which requires more energy for deposition. And what will be this preferential discharge of cations? This is decreasing order of discharge potential and increasing order of deposition. So potassium will be, this is increasing order of deposition. So potassium will be less than sodium, less than calcium, less than magnesium, aluminium, zinc, copper, mercury and hydrogen. Am I clear? Then for the anions also, we have a preferential discharge of the ions. This will be sulfate ion, nitrate ion, hydroxide ion, chloride ion, bromide ion and iodide ion. I hope, student, you must have been understanding what I want to tell to you. Here after zinc, there will be the hydrogen ion. Am I clear? Now, the one which is toward the lower side will get deposited more easily as the one which is toward the upper side. How do we understand this concept? As for example, electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride solution. Electrolysis of aqueous NaCl solution. Electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride. Now what we do? If we take sodium chloride aqueous solution, it will ionize to form the sodium ion and the chloride ion. Am I clear? Then since it is an aqueous solution, here it will be water. Water will also ionize to form the hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. Now see very carefully. There are two cations which are ready for deposition at cathode and two anions which are ready for deposition at anode. Am I clear? Now between sodium ion and the hydrogen ion, which is lower one in the series? Hydrogen ion. So which will get deposited more easily? Hydrogen ion. How? By the gain of electron. So between sodium ion and the hydrogen ion, there develops a competition. But since hydrogen ion requires lesser energy for the deposition, so what will happen? This hydrogen ion will gain 4 electrons and will change into the hydrogen matter. This hydrogen will then change into the hydrogen gas. Am I clear? At anode, there will be a competition between the chloride ion and the hydroxyl ion. Yes, which is toward the lower side, it is the hydroxyl ion. So what will happen at the hydroxyl ion? This hydroxyl ion will be losing the 4 electrons. Am I getting clear? And when this hydroxyl ion will be losing the 4 electrons, what will happen? It will change into 4OH. And this 4OH will change into water molecule and oxygen in the form of a gas will be given out. So during the electrolysis of molten aqueous solution of sodium chloride, what is obtained at the cathode? Hydrogen. What is obtained at the anode? This will be the oxygen ion. Am I clear, student? This over here will be the oxygen ion. This is the effect of electrolysis of aqueous solution based on the preferential discharge of the ions. Now, if we carry out the electrolysis of aqueous solution of copper sulfate using inert electrode, second factor is the nature of electrode. So electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate solution using inert electrode. Using inert electrode. How do we carry out this one? And this inert electrode, let me take it as the platinum electrode. How will this electrolysis be carried out? We'll take an electrolytic cell. This will be the electrode. This is inert electrode. This will be the another electrode. This over here is connected to the positive, negative, positive and negative terminal. This electrode is of platinum. This again is of a platinum. Here we have taken the aqueous solution of copper sulfate, a blue color electrolyte. So this is aqueous copper sulfate. Now when we carry out the electrolysis, when we pass electricity through this, copper sulfate will ionize to form copper ion and the sulfate ion. Then since it is an aqueous solution, we have water molecule also which will ionize to form hydrogen ion and the hydroxyl ion. Now this both copper ion and the hydrogen ion will migrate towards the cathode. And sulfate ion and the hydroxyl ion, it will move towards anode. Now between copper ion and the hydrogen ion, which is towards the lower side, copper ion. So at cathode, copper ion will gain 2 electrons and will change into copper metal. Am I clear? Now at anode, there will be competition between sulfate and hydroxyl ion. But what is toward the lower side? Hydroxyl ion, the preferential discharge of ion. So at cathode anode, what will happen? This hydroxyl ion will be losing 4 electrons and will change into 4OH. This 4OH will change into water and a gas will be given out. The name of a gas will be oxygen. Am I clear? Yes. So this 4 hydroxyl ion will be moving toward the lower side, and what is obtained at the cathode, this will be copper ion. At anode, this will be oxygen ion. Here it was a competition between copper ion and the hydrogen. Which one get deposited? Copper. When there was a competition between sulfate ion and the hydroxyl ion, which one get deposited? Hydroxyl ion. So this is preferential discharge of ions. So for the electrolysis, we have done with you the 2 concepts, the simple electrolysis, in which the electrolysis of a molten salt was done. Then the electrolysis based on the concept of a preferential discharge of ion. I repeat, whenever there is a competition between 2 or more than 2 ions to be deposited on the electrode, then the one which requires the lesser energy for the deposition will always be obtained. Is it clear, student? Yes. And these 2 examples we have given you on the basis of a preferential discharge of the ions. Now after this, there is one more concept. It will depend upon the nature of electrode. Student, just look over here. When we carry out the electrolysis of aqueous solution of copper sulfate using inert platinum electrode, what is obtained at the cathode? Copper. What is obtained at the anode? The anode. This is oxygen. However, if we use the active electrode, inert electrodes are those which do not participate in the chemical reaction. However, if we use the active electrode, the product will be slightly different, which we will be discussing in the next example, which is electrolysis of copper sulfate solution using copper electrode. So now students, we will discuss electrolysis of aqueous solution of copper sulfate using active copper electrode, in which we will discuss the effect of electrodes on the product of electrolysis. So electrolysis of aqueous solution of aqueous copper sulfate using a copper electrode. Using copper electrode. Using copper electrode. Am I clear? In fact, the copper anode. What will happen? This copper sulfate is the aqueous solution. It will ionize to form the copper ion and sulfate anion. Am I clear? Now we have got the water. This water will ionize to form the hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. Now this copper ion and the hydrogen ion, they both will migrate towards cathode. And sulfate and hydroxyl ion will migrate towards the anode. Sulfate and hydroxyl ion will migrate towards anode. Am I clear? Now between copper ion and the hydrogen ion, which require lesser energy for deposition, copper ion. So this copper ion will take the 2 electron and will result in the formation of a copper metal. So at cathode, what is obtained? A copper metal. Now at anode, between sulfate ion and the hydroxide ion, just see very carefully. Both will try to migrate towards the anode, but both will be acting only as a spectator ion. Instead of oxidation of sulfate and hydroxyl ion at the cathode, it will be preferred by the active electrode to undergo oxidation. So instead of this, the copper anode, we have copper anode will itself lose the 2 electron and will result in the formation of copper ion. Am I clear? Yes or no? So how is this electrolytical cell made? We have an electrolytic cell. Here we have a copper anode and copper cathode. Cathode is of a pure copper. Is it clear or not? This way. This is negative, this is positive. This is copper, pure copper cathode. And this is a copper anode. Of course, it will be impure. Here we have got the solution of copper sulfate. Which solution is this? It is the electrolyte of aqueous solution of copper sulfate. What we will observe? This copper ion will undergo oxidation. This copper ion will migrate toward the electrolyte and form electrolyte. It will get deposited towards this. Am I getting clear? What you will observe in this process of electrolysis, the blue color of copper sulfate will not be decolorized. In the previous one, in which we used the inert electrode, the blue color of copper sulfate was decolorized. So this is on the basis of a concept of a active electrode. I hope the concept of electrolysis must have been getting very, very clear to you. Student in the class, you may do one more example, which is a simple example, that is electrolysis of molten lead bromide. Molten lead bromide. Here it will happen, the electrode will be inert, PbR2. When ionized, it will form lead ion and bromide ion. This lead ion will be deposited at the cathode. And the bromide ion, it will be deposited at anode. At cathode, what will happen? This lead ion will gain the 2 electrons and will deposit as a lead metal. At anode, what will happen? This bromide ion will be losing the 2 electrons and will result in the formation of a bromine gas. So at anode, the reddish brown gas bromine will be liberated. At cathode, the grayish color lead will be deposited. So student, this was a brief introduction of a concept of a electrolysis. So we have started the chapter of electrochemistry with a brief discussion of a topic of a electrolysis. In the further discussions, the major part of this chapter will be covered. This we have done in the lower classes also, which we have covered in the part A and B, but the basic concept of this needs to be very correct to understand this chapter of electrochemistry. I hope you must have understood. We will meet again in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.